Right, so welcome. If anybody joining, a week or so ago I was actually doing a very impromptu live stream from the Constitutional Court awaiting judgment in the defamation slap suit that I've been involved with. I'm now in an entirely different situation, somewhere in Johannesburg, to doing a live stream to launch a crowdfunding initiative. And I am going to ask Sinqobile Maphisa to explain what it's all about. And afterwards, I will explain what the connection is with my involvement in supporting this initiative to ensure justice for Senzo Meyiwa's case and fighting an Australian mining company who's suing me for defamation. There is a connection, but I'll explain that in a moment. The connection is the common denominator is the criminal justice system. So with that brief introduction, it's a great pleasure for me to ask Sinqobile to briefly tell us what this is really all about and invite you to post questions and we will begin to answer them and we will keep folk up to date as to how the thing progresses. That's good.
So fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Right.
Good. Can you grab a chair? Okay. Hi, my name is Sinqobile Maphisa, the sister of accused number 4, Mthokoziseni Maphisa. Since my brother and his co-accused have been charged for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa and believing that they're not guilty, I've been working to assist all of them, including the other 4 accused, to ensure their constitutional rights is practiced to a fair trial is completed. My social media campaign has been aimed simply to ensure the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, images from this court process. In this, I've been joined by Senzo Meyiwa, a brother to the late Senzo Meyiwa and others, with their goodwill and support. Through my social media campaign that is still running. Things finally started to move forward with advocate Mthokoziseni offered rendered his services to defend my brothers and 3 of his co-accused pro bono. They welcomed the offer and withdrew their money to lawyers that were introduced to them by the state, the legal aid board, when they were charged 2 years ago. Unfortunately, as almost everyone in South Africa knows, things did not work out as planned. Advocate found himself unable to continue with the case. Fortunately, his instructing attorney, Mr. Tymebank, took over and continued to represent my brothers and his co-accused, and the process resumed. On Monday, when the court rose again to resume the trial with the 3rd witness, the court was informed that accused 1 and 2, minimise and Sinqobile Maphisa, had terminated their mandates with attorney to represent them instead. As a result, the trial was adjourned to allow Advocate Mthokoziseni to familiarize himself with the case and the trial. This means that the trial will not continue this week and the next week as well, and will have to be postponed to May 2023. Because of the schedule of the 3 defense teams, all this can be done without public support. I have therefore opened a special account and I'm calling for public donations for a legal defense fund for the benefits of my brother and his co-accused to ensure all accountability. I have also asked Mr. John Clark, a social worker who has been supporting me and Senzo Meyiwa through this whole traumatic process, to continue to assist us and ensure that our network competent is good. Pardon that. To assist us and through his Google network ensure competent professional are consulted to ensure proper supervision, the fundraising and disbursement process, and that an external audit is done when the trial is over. I've had many people approaching me and asking to assist in payments of the defense team, and people asking to make donations since they've seen how I've started this whole campaign and how I've struggled. Therefore, I've opened a special account with Tymebank under Inzuzo Organisation with an account number 530006727. Finally, I urge the members of the public to recognize this as more than simply a matter of helping my brother and his co-accused to get a fair trial. Thereafter 8 years without closure for the family of Senzo Meyiwa and everyone affected by the crime. It is the criminal justice system that is now on trial. It is no longer simply a matter of justice delayed, justice denied. It is injustice compounded, or it will be if the trial doesn't commence without further delay. Please assist and help where possible. I thank you. Having developed a relationship with all the accused and knowing the father of Mr. Spear, who comes from the same village as me, I have spoken to them and it appears that they were manipulated into changing their lawyers. They have asked me to apologize to Mr. Tuban and ask if he is willing to again take up the task of representing their children so that the trial can recommence as originally planned. He is willing to do so, but cannot do so without the help of the public. Therefore, I've also spoken to the two accused. It happened that Mr. Ntanzi had no idea about this. It was just a matter of surprise in being in court. But Mr. Swiya, the accused number one, has agreed to continue with this senior attorney, having said that he was manipulated into it. However, he sees the need to continue with me. Therefore, there's still confusion in that. We're not sure which one is the way forward from now on. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Sinqobile. If people haven't fully grasped exactly what you said, I will put the full statement in the description of this YouTube video, and I would ask people to forward the link to anybody that you think can assist us in getting things back on track. Because as Sinqobile said, it's not just her brother and the others that are on trial, it's the criminal justice system. And I am personally determined to address that matter. I'm a social worker. I've been working the last 2 years with whistleblowers. And what's really encouraged me is I found that there are several courageous whistleblowers in the police services still, and some of whom have been fired from the police in retaliation for having spoken up against corrupt practices. So that's why I have this common concern with seeing maybe that the Senzo Meyiwa case can signal the inflection point of a not just restorative justice, but a restoring of the justice system, so that the rule of law starts coming back from having been eroded so badly over the last 10, 15, 20 years. You've just heard the crime statistics being announced. Shocking. And we really want to see that we can't let this country just simply slide ever more into the abyss of a failed state. And I was set out on this particular path 6 years ago when my friend Bazuka Khadebe, the chair of the Amadiba Crisis Committee on the Wild Coast at Kolobeni, who was leading the right to self-determination of the community to say no to the mining of the ancestral lands. He was shot and killed. And it was after that that after having spoken to Colonel Frank Dutton, former head of the Scorpions, which was a special unit which had been closed down after Jacob Zuma took over ANC, and asked him, whether as an experienced lifetime police officer, what help he could advise in terms of getting justice for the family of Bazooka. And he said that he had no confidence in the criminal justice system, which is really a tragic thought, and advised us to seek some form of civil litigation to ensure that the issues were ventilated in some judicial process. So that's why last week I was at the Constitutional Court, because we've now had the Constitutional Court rule that retaliation against activists, whistleblowers and journalists constitutes a SLAP, strategic litigation against public participation, the abuse of legal process. And having made that ruling, they've freed me up a little bit to be able to exercise my right to freedom of expression and to speak truth to power, to do so with even greater responsibility. So that's, in a roundabout way, how I found myself involved now in this particular struggle. And I really do believe that the thing standing between South Africa becoming a failed state and for us finding our way back are the citizens of this country. We have a wonderful constitution which has all our rights entrenched in there, freedom of expression, and I would just invite people to please use whatever freedom you have or whatever insights you have to exercise it with responsibility. I'm a social worker and therefore approach everything with a non-judgmental attitude. I am not in any way making up my mind until such time as cross-examination and the whole process of this trial is run to its conclusion. Because I can't do my job if judges are not able to do theirs, if lawyers are not able to engage, bring the full training of their profession in cross-examination to sift every bit of evidence so that we can establish with beyond reasonable doubt as to who is really responsible. Not because I'm motivated by any desire for revenge or anything else, but I do believe that it's even in the interests of those who are found guilty, whoever they may be, that closure happens. It doesn't help for people to be left with a sense of unresolved guilt. They need to have a process of correctional service. And so that's really the issue which brings me to this extremely rewarding process of working with people like Sinqobile. I'm just absolutely in awe of what she's done. I have got interviews on my YouTube channel, which I'll put the links to that on the notes, where she explains how she got involved and how she took up this campaign and how she connected with Senzo Meyiwa and other people of goodwill. And we have seen a rising citizens movement for justice. And even though we've had huge drama and tension and controversy in the Senzo Meyiwa trial so far, I still believe that we can yet pull the fat out of the fire with that. But we do need money. So, please, folk, any little bit, small or large, into the bank account, the details will I put immediately on this note, will be highly appreciated. Well, we now off to go and meet with Attorney Tubani to talk some more about strategy and tactics and how we can make sure this thing works for the common interest. And we might have another live stream interview with him once, if he's got something more he can say. Sinqobile, any last words as you've been listening to me rambling on that you want to add?
The only thing I'd like to add is a word of appreciation and thank you to Mr. John and everyone there who's been giving me the support. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have fought till this far. It was never an easy journey, but with the support from the public and everyone, even from the Meyiwas who knew that my brothers are innocent and have been giving me the support, I'd like to say thank you very much, and to Yen Madisela for everything that he revealed before withdrawing. If it wasn't for him, the case wouldn't be where it is today. It's where it is today because of him. I appreciate him a lot. And to Mr. Titi Tobani, thank you so much for taking over in such a hectic case. It's not an easy case to strap. It's not that easy for anyone in that matter. And to Advocate Mshololo, she's been assisting in every way. Whenever she's doing her questioning, she never sidelines the other form. Her questions will cover everyone of the accused. Thank you so much to everyone, to the nation as a whole.
Thank you, folk. And I will end this live stream now because we've got some urgent things to attend to, and stay in touch. Subscribe to my channel. I'll make sure you get notices as things develop, as they evolve. And let's take back our country.